Hello everyone, this is Manohar Reddy, Department of Cybersecurity, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to explain you the concept of application level gateways. Application level gateways, that how they are providing security for the incoming connections or outgoing packets. So what is meant by application level gateways? So application level gateway, it operates in the application layer. It operates in the application layer of OSI model. So in the OSI model, we can have different types of layers, 7-layer architecture. So in that all the layers, application layer is the main layer, and application layer, from that application layer we are accessing different types of applications. So this application level gateways operated in this application layer of OSI model and actively inspects that contents of packets that are passed through the gateway. So these gateways are used to inspecting each and every packet. It's inspecting each and every packet that are passed through the gateway. Gateways are nothing but we can act as a routers, switches, hubs, like that. All the networking devices. And it acts as a intermediate system between the internet and the application server. So it is acting as a intermediate system or bridge. It is called as a bridge. It is an intermediate system. It acts as in between the internet and the application server. Act as an intermediate system between the internet and the application server. And that understands the relevant application protocol. The gateway interprets each incoming request and reduces the request to the application server. So what it does, it waits at the application server and it checks each and every incoming packet towards application server. It inspects each and every packet and also it verifies the packet's identity. So that indicates that reducing the requests to the application server. An application level gateway intercepts the incoming and outgoing packets. So each and every incoming and each and every outgoing packet is intercepted by this application level gateway and runs a proxy to copy and forward information across the gateway. It runs a proxy to copy and forward the information across the gateway. So it maintains a proxy to store the copied information and process and forwards it to across the gateway and functions as a proxy server, thereby preventing any direct connection between a trusted server or client and an untrusted host. So it automatically inspects each and every packets, incoming packets and outgoing packets. So by checking each and every packet, it reduces the request to reach the application server. So indirectly it reduces the workload, overload targeting on the application server. An application level gateway is, sometimes we can say that it is a program that serves as a firewall proxy. And it runs between computers in a network to tightening the security, to give the more strength of security to the systems. So it serves as a firewall proxy and runs between computer and computer in network to strengthen the security. And it is responsible for filtering incoming traffic that contains network application data. Network application data. So packets are being transmitted from source to destination, and each and every packet has to be inspected, and each and every incoming traffic is also to be inspected at the point of application level gateways. To illustrate, think of a program that wants to connect with another. So before it can establish a connection, it must first connect to an application gateway. So it must first connect to an application level gateway. So a user wants to access the application server. User wants to access the application server. Directly he can access the application server. But if at all the application level gateways are presented, they can act as a intersect elements, and they can act as intermediate system between these two. So user is able to using the internet or network, and they can access the applications from application server. So in the middle of these application level gateways are inspecting each and every packets. So that's why the first it is connected to the application gateway, then he can access the applications from application server. So which then accesses the desired system on its behalf. That way the computer on the receiving end is protected from possible malicious attacks. So what is an application gateway in simple terms? So we already said that what the application level gateways are like a bridges, like a firewall proxies. They are inspecting each and every elements, each and every incoming packets. But in simple terms, what is an application gateway? So it provides an additional layer of protection against unwanted network traffic. It provides an additional layer. So extra layer of protection is added against what? Against unwanted network traffic. It is also sometimes known as application level gateway or application proxy. So that is what we have to choose here. The application level gateways are the best firewall proxies or best application proxies to give more strength of the security for the systems. And here we can observe that the local hosts are there and receiver hosts are there. So in between those two systems, application level proxy lies in between the two firewalls. So even the incoming packets from the local host to the destination side or receiver host, the first firewalls can inspect that each and every data. So firewalls can inspect each and every data from this local host. Even if firewall is compromised, with the incoming connections, then the application level proxy is not getting compromised, and application level proxies are working as a intermediate between these two. So that's why we can call it as application level gateways are proxies and firewall proxies, as well as application proxies also. So now, even though firewall is compromised, the application level gateways, that is, we can call it as firewall proxies here. So this firewall proxy is not allowed the incoming packets if it is bad or if it is malicious attempts. The application level gateways are never accepted to income inside of the receiver host. At the same time, the inside firewall is also there. So if the firewall is not allowing incoming connections to this receiver host. So if firewall 1 fails, then application level gateways are present. Even though if application level gateways are not able to perform very well, then another firewall works well. So this concept, we can say this application level proxy is working as a demilitarized zone This entire zone, we can say it is a demilitarized zone also. This entire zone, we can say it is a demilitarized zone also. So now application level proxies, application level gateways are working for both applications as well as firewalls. For both applications as well as firewalls. And the functions of all application level gateways can be defined as here. It allows client applications. It allows client applications to use dynamic TCP UDP ports, dynamic TCP UDP ports to communicate with the known ports, communicate with the known ports used by the server applications, used by the server applications. So the application level gateways allows a client applications to use these dynamic ports, and the ports are to communicate with the known ports used by the server applications, So even though a firewall configuration may allow, only limited number of known ports also, these are trying to give the access to communicating another ports also. And next, convert the network layer address information. Found inside an application payload between the addresses acceptable by the hosts on either side of the firewall. So it makes the conversion of address, network address into physical address, or physical address into network address. So it manages both host IDs and network IDs. Also. And a deep packet inspection of all the packets over a given network. So it follows that, it actually performs that. So these are all the functions that are able to provide some sort of responsibilities. So first one is what communicating TCP or UDP ports with all other ports. And the second one is what converting network layer address information into another application payload. Into another application payload. And third one is what deep packet inspection of all packets over a given network. And here we can say that there are different types of application level gateways are working in between both the client and the server, or in between the both outside host and inside host. So we can see here in the above figure, some telnet, FTP, SMTP, HTTP are working as application level gateways. So telnet, FTP, SMTP, HTTP, these are all some sort of application level gateways, and working as application level gateways for their purposes. So here the telnet is for connections purpose. It is acting as the application level gateway for connection purposes. And FTP, file transfer protocol, acting as a application level proxy for file transferring. Similarly, SMTP is acting as a application level gateway for sending mails and receiving mails. And HTTP is also application level gateway, worked as a proxy in between the application and application downloading and from the client side, applications from user. So user is going to download the application from application server. So their application level gateway acting as a application level gateway, HTTP acting as a both user and the application server. User and application server. How does an application level gateways works? So how does an application level gateways works? So an application gateway works by examining each incoming packets. First of all, it receives the incoming packets and deep inspection, that is nothing but examining. So examining each incoming packets or data blocks at the application or program level. At the application level or program level. So it started to examining each and every incoming packet. For that, it uses proxies. It uses proxies to establish a secure connection for remote users. It uses proxies to establish a secure connection for remote users. So, suppose an external user tries to gain access to an internal company server. So, suppose A is an external user and here B is the internal company server. Internal company server. Now, A is trying to gain access of this internal company server. So in that case, it automatically runs a proxy or an instance of the application, runs a proxy or instance of the application that replicates the server functionality he or she accessing. That replicates the server's functions he or she accessing. So whatever he is trying to gain the access of application server, automatically it reflects that the functionalities of the server. It automatically gets reflecting of the server's functionalities. So that way, the actual application is not affected by anything that the user does. So that's the way the actual application is not affected by anything that the user does. As such, an application gateway establishes two simultaneous connections. One of these is between the remote user and the proxy application. So one connection is what? So two simultaneous connections are established by our application level gateway. So one of these connection is what? The connection established between remote user and the proxy application. One of the connection is established in between the remote user and the proxy application. The other is between the proxy and the internal server. So proxy and the internal server. So now this is the user and this is the proxy application and then internal server. So in between internal server and the user, remote user, the proxy or proxy server, proxy application acting as the application level gateway. So in short, it acts as a go-between or mediator to make sure no malicious traffic actually flows to the server, so while letting the user access its functionality. So now here the proxy application or proxy acting as a application level gateway in between the user and the server. So this is the way the application level gateways works. So for each and every incoming packets, this application level gateway is going to examining each and every packet. And here, what is the application gateway firewall? What is the application gateway's firewall? So it often regarded as among the most secure of their kind because of their ability to validate the packets. So each and every packet gets examined or inspected, but validate the packet is also important and ensure that these conform to specification. So there is a downside to this, though, as such firewalls are slower than others because of the amount of data they need to process it. So to prevent downtime, users employ application gateway firewalls along with the others. So they can able to purchase that application gateway firewalls. application gateway firewalls. In such case, the application gateway firewall sits behind the other firewalls and is only used to protect particular servers. Only used to protect particular servers. The other firewalls screen all incoming traffic and so lessen the work for the application gateway firewall. So lessen the work for the application level gateway firewall. So each and every time the application gateway working with the help of firewall, and that firewall states that each and every data, each and every packets, each and every connections are trusted connections or not, and it gives the speed of the system also. It gives the speed of the system of the network also. What are the some examples of application level gateways? What are the some examples of application level gateways? So here several application gateways are available today. Here are some of them. So the first one is what? IBM Data Power Gateway. First one is what? IBM Data Power Gateway. So IBM's Data Power Gateway is among the most widely used application gateways, most widely used application gateways among enterprises, because it offers security and integration features. It offers security as well as integration features, and it simplified deployment and continuous management for users, in addition to having a reverse proxy feature. For user access control. So the simplified deployment and continuous management for the users, in addition to these, having a reverse proxy feature also. It also has a data power log. That means it maintains a record that notifies users about errors. And next one, Axway API Gateway. So here, Axway API Gateway was specially designed for enterprise grade delivery and management. Designed for what? Enterprise grade delivery and management through web programming, such as web API. We can call it as web API. So web application programming interface that connects backend applications to third party systems. And it also provides operational and analytical monitoring functionality. So it provides what? Operational and analytical monitoring functionality, and giving IT teams and business owners, information technology teams and business owners, visibility into how the API is used. So this is one type of application level gateway which is designed for especially enterprise grade delivery and management. Through web API, and that connects backend applications, each and every backend applications, to the third party systems. And the next one, Intel Expressway Service Gateway. Intel, which is from Intel company, and which is from Axway company. So this is one type of application level gateway from Intel Corporation companies. So Intel Expressway Service Gateway. So it allows users to securely deliver cloud service brokerage capabilities. It allows the users to securely deliver cloud service brokerage capabilities. So such as routing, integration and data protection, particularly to legacy and mobile systems. Particularly to the legacy and mobile systems. So these are the three application level gateway examples in the real time. So one is by the IBM data power gateway, and by the Axway API gateway, and by the Intel Expressway Service Gateway. And what are the types of proxies? We already said that application level gateway act as a application proxy or firewall proxy. So what are the types of proxies? Those used by an application level gateways are: one is application specific proxy, and the second one is what? Application level filtering. One is what? Application specific proxy, and the second one is what? Application level filtering. So here application specific proxies, it accepts only the packets that are generated by the services they are designed to copy, forward and filter. So which are designed for copy and forward and filter, only the service generated by them are going to be acceptable the packet. For example, if an application level gateway runs a telnet, only packets generated by this service could pass through the firewall. So if telnet works as a application level gateway for the connections purpose, it runs only based on the service. All other services would be blocked. And the second one is what? Application level filtering. So an application level gateway runs proxies that examines and filters individual packets. These proxies can filter particular kinds of commands or information in the application. So in the application protocols, the proxies are designed to copy, forward and filter. So these two are the application specific proxies and application level filtering proxies. These are the two types of application proxies. And the next one, translation between IPv4 and IPv6 nodes. So application level gateways are also, we can say that network layer of addressing into application level payloads. So here the translation of IPv4 into IPv6 nodes also. So application level gateways are used as one of the translation technology to connect the host node between IPv4 and IPv6. So to connect the host node between IPv4 and IPv6. And this is achieved by connecting IPv4 with the host node of IPv6 in higher level protocols for the specialized application process in gateway program. The translator analyzes the data format of payload and prepares an application level gateway program that converts the IP address and port number information for all the protocols. So here it is used as a translation technology, and it is the translator analyzes the data format of payload and prepares an algorithm code, application level gateway code that converts the IP address and port number information for all the protocols. So these are all the IP address translation of IPv4 and IPv6. And once again we revise the topic which we discussed in this session for the application level gateways. So here the application level gateways. What is meant by application level gateways? So it operates in which layer? It operates in application level of OSI model, and it actively inspects the contents of the packets that are passed through the gateways. So each and every packet get transmitted through the routers, right? So that all the packets are being inspected by these firewalls, these gateways. So here we can call it as application level gateway as application proxies or firewall proxies. Firewall proxies. And here we can say that this application level gateway lies in between the firewall, so that we can say that it is in demilitarized zone also. Demilitarized zone also. So if each and every data is incoming from other hosts to this application server, the firewall may get configured to pass the information. So the functions, so how it functions for the communicating TCP IDP ports to unknown ports or known ports, and converts network layer address information into application payload, as well as deep packet inspection also. Here some of the examples for application level gateways: the telnet acting as application level gateway for the connections, and the FTP file transfer protocol acting as application level gateway for the file transfer services, a simple mail transfer protocol SMTP protocol acting as application level gateway for mail transfers, mails receivers and mail senders, and HTTP acting as a application level gateway for application accessing or application servicing, application downloading purpose also. And how it operates: so it operates, before it is operating, it checks each and every packets are transmitted from source to destination is trusted or not, and examining each packet IDs, and it replicates the server functions also. And what is application gateway firewall? So the firewall, if application level gateways are sit in between the firewalls, then it is called as application gateway firewall. So firewall inspecting each and every incoming connections, each and every incoming data connections to these application levels. And examples of application gateways in real time: so by the IBM data power gateway is application gateway, and by the X-Way API gateway is one type of application level gateway, and by the Intel Expressway Service Gateway is one type of application level gateway. And the types of proxies: application specific proxies and application level filtering. Two types are there. And the translation between IPv4 and IPv6. So how the translator analyzes the data format of payload and preparing the code for the conversion of IP address and port number information for all the protocols. So this is all about the application level gateways. This is the way application level gateways are providing more security that inspecting each and every packets to the application server. Thank you all.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.